Hey everyone, what is up? Jubitaz back with another video for y'all, where today I'm going to be talking about a skill that doesn't get a lot of hype or mention usually. Sensory skills. An ability that isn't necessarily limited to the Naruto anime. Sensory skills refers to the ability to detect shinobi or traps, usually by sensing chakra. Ninja that possess these abilities are usually referred to as sensory types. Now, a ninja could possess a natural affinity to sensory capabilities due to their lineage, or they could possess abilities that aid them in sensing their enemies, like the Hyuga clan or the Yamanaka clan. So today, I'll be going over all the different types of sensory skills, and then I'll rank the top 10 sensory ninja in Naruto. So let's start by talking about the different types of sensory skills that one could possess. It's worth mentioning that there are several clans in the Leaf that have different means of sensing or detecting an enemy's chakra. The Inuzuka clan rely on their sense of smell, as both their dogs and the Inuzuka themselves have a very sharp nose. Kakashi also uses ninja hounds for tracking Pakun and the gang. Pakun was able to track Naruto and Sasuke all the way to the Valley of the End, and he was even able to locate the Akatsuki's hideout in the first arc of Shippuden. So it seems like Pakun's nose can trace a scent over very long distances. Kiba may even have a better knack for scent tracking, as he was able to outdo Pakun in the Sasuke search mission, and was later able to trace Sasuke's scent from the Land of Iron till the Samurai Bridge. The Aburame clan used their bugs to detect their enemies, and can track anyone by implanting a female beetle onto them, and the male species can track them no matter the distance. The Hyuga clan have their Kekkei Genkai, the Byakugan, with which they have a nearly 360 field of vision, and their sight can extend as far as 800 meters. The Uchiha's Sharingan also has its sensory uses, as it can sense the opponent's movements with the precog, and also sense chakra by seeing it as a color. Individuals that mastered Sage Mode also possess above average sensory skills, as when one enters Sage Mode, they can use the natural energy to sense their surroundings. Though I suppose some Sage Mode users are better than other Sage Mode users at utilizing its sensory capabilities. There are also some that are just naturally gifted sensors and can detect chakra at great distances and even tell a shinobi's clan from their distinct chakra signature, though they have to be actively needing chakra. And now that you guys have an idea of what sensory skills are, let's go over the top 10 best sensory ninja. Number 10 is the 4th Hokage, Minato Namikaze. Now Minato was very adept at sensory skills, and he could detect the amount of enemy ninja present in an area by placing his finger on the ground. Now him being a sensory type should not surprise anyone, because in order for one to use the flying Raijin jutsu, they'd have to be innately good at sensing, because you need to be able to sense all the ceiling tags you place to navigate between them. Minato also has long-range sensing, and he was able to detect Naruto and Kurama's chakra signal once he was revived and figure out that they were now cooperating together. Minato can also enhance his sensory skills by going into Sage Mode. Now while he is skilled, he's not the best at it. He couldn't even tell that the masked man was Obito, for example. And even though he could detect that the Nine Tails was extracted from Naruto, he couldn't sense Black Zetsu that stole the Nine Tails chakra. Number 9, I got Madara Uchiha. Now it's not often that you'd see Madara rank so low on a list, but considering that he already ranks pretty high in all the other Naruto lists, the fact that he's here just shows how Madara's a jack of all trades. Madara is actually a pretty good sensor. He was able to discern Tsunade's lineage to Hashirama Senju by just sensing her chakra, and he was also able to sense Hashirama's chakra the second he was revived, despite that occurring several countries away. Now you could try to argue that Madara is just innately familiar with Hashirama's chakra, but he was also able to sense the Nine Tails within Naruto. And when he got Hashirama's Sage Mode, he was able to dodge most of Sasuke's attacks despite being blind. And he was even able to sense his Choco Tomoe Mangekyo pattern. Maybe he'd rank higher if he always had that Sage Mode, but as he is, I think 9th place is fair enough. Number 8 is the 2nd Hokage, Tobirama Senju. Now this is an appropriate list to rank Tobirama higher than Madara. Tobirama was an even more skilled sensor than the previous two entries. Like Minato, he can sense how many enemy shinobi there are by placing 2 fingers on the ground. And he was able to discern even more details than Minato: 20 skilled ninja, the Kinkaku force from the cloud. Tobirama was also able to sense all the chakra coming from the battlefield, and he sensed Madara's chakra in particular, despite them being countries away. He was able to determine a person's clan of origin by examining their chakra, like he did with Karin and with Sasuke. Now, as with some, it seems like Tobirama needs to be needing chakra in order to turn his sensory abilities on, so it doesn't seem like something that he can keep active all the time. I imagine a lot of you guys wanted him ranked even higher, but believe me, the next entries are expert sensors. Number 7 is the second Tsuchikage Mu, who's pretty interesting. Like the others, Mu had the ability to detect chakra across vast distances, and he could also distinguish shinobi from different nations based on their chakra. He could also tell that Gaara and Rasa were related through the same chakra sensing method. The reason I placed Mu above the other entries isn't just because of his sensing abilities, but because he was renowned for his sensory perception, and even KCM Naruto couldn't catch him off guard, and he had to extend his Nine-Tails chakra arms. He also had this neat technique where he was able to completely erase his presence, making him impossible to sense. He was renowned as the non-person due to his ability, which left him with neither a physical form nor a detectable chakra signal. Number 6 is Ino Yamanaka. Now, Ino wouldn't be ranking this high if this were a combat list, but when it comes to sensory perception, Ino's very capable, and it's mostly due to the hidden techniques passed down the Yamanaka clan. She's able to detect changes in the chakra of the people around her, and she can also assess and detect distinct chakra signatures. Ino can also enhance her sensory perception by using her mind transfer on birds to have an aerial view of her surroundings. Her ability to telepathically connect people is not necessarily a sensory skill, but it can be used for sensory means, as she can use it to transfer a network of information. Her range also extends over a very wide range, reaching all the 5 great nations by the last era. The reason I ranked Ino this high is that by Boruto, Ino had become able to detect chakra without first molding chakra, and she was able to keep a barrier over the entire village, where she can sense and pinpoint the location of anyone that breaches that barrier. Number 5 is Nagato, and you'll notice that most of the Uzumaki in general have really good sensory abilities. Nagato in particular had remarkable control over his chakra, given that he was always funneling chakra to the 6 paths. He could even alter his chakra's frequency constantly, making it impossible for any sensor to detect him while he's controlling the paths of pain, unless you stab yourself with one of the rods like Naruto did. Pain also had his own sensory barrier set up in the hidden rain to detect any intruders. He was able to use the rainfall to keep an eye on the residents and look out for unusual chakra. This technique is called the Rainmaker Ninjutsu. The pains also have a sensory benefit when fighting together, since they all share a field of vision. Nagato's also the one that discerned Kabuto's location and told Itachi. Because Kabuto was controlling Nagato, he was able to trace Kabuto's chakra back to the remote cave he was in, despite the fact that Kabuto had taken precautions and used sensory techniques to hide his chakra. Number 4 is Black Zetsu. Now, I know that most of the fans hate Black Zetsu, and it's pretty understandable. You're meant to hate him. But the one thing you can't deny is that Zetsu's a very proficient sensor, given that he's like the essence of Kaguya Otsutsuki, the progenitor of all chakra. Zetsu was able to sense individuals many kilometers away and differentiate between distinct chakra signals. That's how it found the reincarnates of Ashura and Indra every time. Black Zetsu was also sharp with his sensory skills, like how he was able to instantly detect Naruto and Beast chakra the second they emerged from the barrier, despite him being pretty far away from them. Zetsu spent most of his time lurking in the shadows, spying on everyone, So like Mu, he was able to erase his presence and blend in with his surroundings completely, making it near impossible to detect him. The one time you could say he almost got caught was when Hashirama had that exclamation mark, looking like he'd sensed something, but in the anime, he was just looking up, and it doesn't really seem like he noticed Black Zetsu. Number 3 is Ao of the Mist Village. For you guys that don't really know Ao that well, there's a pretty good reason he's up this high. I mean, Ao was considered to be such a good sensory ninja that he was chosen as the leader of the sensory unit of the allied shinobi force in the Fourth Great War. Ao was stationed alongside Shikaku, Inoichi, the Hokage, and the Raikage. Ao was basically the headquarters, eyes and ears into the battlefield. He was able to sense out all of the individual reincarnated shinobi from within the thousands of white Zetsu foot soldiers. And he's also the one to sense Madara and warn the allies about his powerful chakra. Ao was also one of the few shinobi able to sense natural energy. On top of that, he possessed a stolen Byakugan with which he could enhance his visual sensory skills, and he could also use it to detect distinct people's chakra, like how he recognized Chisui's eye, and he could also see when someone's being manipulated by a genjutsu, as it was him that finally uncovered that the 4th Mizukage was being controlled by an outsider. Number 2 is Karin Uzumaki. Now, I know that a lot of people find Karin annoying, but the one thing that you can't deny is that she has excellent sensory skills. Uncontested. Unlike many sensory ninja, Karin doesn't need to actively need chakra to be able to detect chakra signals. Due to an ability named the Mind's Eye of the Kagura, she can do that without conscious effort. For example, when Sasuke was dying after Madara stabbed him, Karin was unconsciously sensing Sasuke's life force fade away. That's how good she was at sensory skills. She could trace out signature chakras from great distances, and she could also detect and identify specific chakra signals. She can determine the size of a target's chakra reserves, like how she compared the 4th Raikages to the tailed beasts, and she can also identify the emotional state of the person emitting the chakra, like how she noted how dark Sasuke's chakra was at the summit. Karin can also completely erase her chakra, but when she does so, she's not able to use her sensory abilities. There are arguments for her being number 1, but I think that there's another Uzumaki that may be more deserving, and that is... Number 1 is Naruto Uzumaki. Unsurprisingly, Naruto didn't start off the series being a really good sensor. However, once he mastered Sage Mode, Naruto became very adept at sensing. When he was summoned back to the village, he was able to sense that Kakashi's chakra was no longer present, and he was in general better at utilizing Senjutsu for sensing than Minato or Jiraiya. Naruto was also able to track down Nagato before anyone else could. And once he managed to steal the Nine-Tails chakra and awaken the KCM-1, he developed the ability to sense emotions or malicious intent, which made him instrumental for the allied shinobi force, since he was the only one able to detect the white Zetsu, which on its own is enough of a feat to be ranked number 1, but that's not all there is to it. He was also able to sense the exact words Hinata was monologuing to herself in her head. And once he awakened the 6th Path Sage Mode, Naruto was capable of both detecting and interacting with Madara's Limbo clones, the ones that exist in an entirely separate space. So yeah, that's crazy. Naruto was also able to sense Black Zetsu stabbing Madara before anyone else. So by the time he's got 6th Path Sage Mode, Naruto's awareness is on another level, simply unrivaled. Honorable mentions go to Chokichi of the Mist. He's one of the shinobi brought back by Kabuto and stationed in the diversion platoon alongside Deidara and Sasori. There's also one of the Raikage's subordinates, C. He's a sensory ninja, and he's the one that was tracking Karin, which made Sasuke put him under a genjutsu. Hashirama and Kabuto are 2 characters that can acquire strong sensory skills once they enter Sage Mode. And 2 other characters that I believe should be good sensors would be both Mito Uzumaki and Kushina Uzumaki, We know that Mito shared Naruto's ability with Kurama, the one that makes her sense intent. We don't really see Kushina exhibit this ability, but I'd like to imagine that since she's an Uzumaki, she at least possessed above average sensing abilities. Kisame's blades can also sense chakra, and Kisame himself gains that ability once he merges with the Samihara, and Ada's Sendragon would also make her one of the best sensors ever, but I don't want to include Boruto characters. Anyways, this is all we got for today. Make sure you drop a like, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.